Welcome to the Construction Tech Podcast, where we talk with industry leaders and discover the latest technology within their business. Whether you're a director of sales or a graduate looking to get into the industry, make sure you tune in and enjoy the episode. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe and comment to add to your own views. The Construction Tech Podcast is brought to you by Laura Jane Recruitment. We hope you enjoy the episode.
So welcome to today's Construction Tech Podcast, where we will be speaking to Symetri. I would like to welcome Richard Brayshaw, who is the Business Area Director for Construction within Symetri. So welcome, Richard. So welcome to the Construction Tech Podcast today. Obviously, you're from Symetri, so let's get straight into it. What do Symetri do? Tell me a bit about Symetri and the company.
Okay, Symetri are a business that provide technology solutions right the way through the construction process, from initial concept through design with architects, through the actual building and construction phase, and then into the ongoing running of the buildings. So really looking at end-to-end solutions for the construction process.
Fantastic. And so I guess the next question really is, how did you get into your role? So we want to know about you. How did you start off? How did you get into software construction? You know, how did you get to the position that you're in?
So yeah, over the last, well, it must be nearly 12 years now, I've been heavily involved in software solution sales. That's taken various forms. So first of all, I was doing telematics, so around vehicle tracking. Then I got into facilities management, so software to support the ongoing running of the buildings, and then into the construction side of things. So I'm really a software solutions expert, probably more than a construction expert. But throughout all of those elements, I've been solving problems, so helping transport companies run their fleets more effectively, helping owners run their buildings more effectively, and then helping construction companies and owners run the construction process more effectively is how I like to think of it. My sort of mission in life is to make people more efficient and save people time. If I can make humanity more efficient, then people have got more time to do what they actually want to do. I think it's grand to have a mission statement, but that's where I like to sort of try and help people. I'm not going to put people on Mars, and I'm not going to create a electric powered car that takes over the world, but I can do my little bit to help out, I guess, and have a bit of purpose.
Yeah, and I think that's lovely as a manager. Obviously, you're now a manager of a full team within Symetri. So that's obviously nice to have a mission statement, because it makes your team sort of understand what you want out of them, but also what they expect of you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So they know what drives me, and then collectively we work on some key statements around what the team is going to be and how we're going to do our work together. But there is always a flavor of trying to make people more efficient, because that's what comes from me, and also that's what we as a business do. Our strap line is challenge people to work smarter. So with the company strapline, there's always going to be that element in what we do.
Fantastic. And obviously, speaking about your team as well, what are the main sort of characteristics that you look for within team members that obviously come in to join Symetri, and specifically your team as well?
So there's probably a mix, because we're almost half and half split in terms of sales and also consultancy delivery. In terms of the sales side, it's really about attitude and willingness to, which is probably the same for each and every role in the world, and also about an ability and capacity to listen and not just try and force software down somebody's throat. We do have a lot of different software solutions. We tend to be able to meet people's needs, but the key is understanding what those needs are. So from a sales side, it's people who are willing to listen and have got the attitude to go out there and knock down some doors as well. On the consultancy side, it's probably, well, our consultants are from, but on the consultancy side, it's more about capability and understanding. But again, it comes down to understanding the customer, understanding the situation. The majority of our consultants, in fact, all of our consultants, are from industry. So they've worked for Balfour Beatty, they've worked for Morgan Sindall, they've worked for Skanska. They understand the actual challenges on a job site.
Yeah.
So we don't you know, I see a lot of theoretical software sales, and some of myself and maybe the sales guys say, you know, this solution meets these needs, and you've got the guys in the team going, that ain't going to work on a job site, you know, when it's raining heavily and, you know, there's mud all over the place and you're trying to put in some fancy solution. It's more about quick solution, works with big thumbs and fingers on keypads and all that kind of stuff.
Definitely. And so I guess, what does, from the opposite side, what does Symetri offer people that are new coming to work for you? So, you know, if you found the right candidates for your team, what are Symetri, you know, why Symetri? Why not another Autodesk reseller that's down the road or whatever it might be?
I would say why Symetri? I'd say it's the people we have. We've got a lot of experience. We can share that experience from a sales side of things and from a consultancy side of things, and just knowledge about the construction industry. It's a wide variety of solutions that we provide, and probably give people a greater understanding and an excitement around technology. We don't just resell Autodesk software. You know, this year the majority of our profit probably came from, well, in the construction side of things, we made more money out of non-Autodesk product and services than we did out of Autodesk product and services. So what excites a number of the team is the ability to look at different solutions. You know, we look at augmented reality and virtual reality solutions. We've got hard hat cameras with sort of Google AI tracking where people have been and how that compares to a Revit model. So we have some fun tech as well as being a reseller of software. It's interesting because you've got to keep selling yourself as a business, and we used to have quite a good office environment, but now that's not really a selling point, and people don't want that. I don't think people want to go into offices again, and we do have the flexibility to run a team remotely. My team is based from Newcastle to Guildford to Manchester to Ipswich, so I mean, being remote was all what we were always going to have to do before the pandemic anyway, but now it's just cemented that. And I think the flexibility and the trust that Symetri have is probably another key aspect.
Yeah, definitely. And also you guys progress your members throughout the company as well, don't you? So any sort of member of staff, you know, there's progression within the company there too. Yeah,
there's a development pathways. What we try and do is, as I said, we've got a heck of a lot of experience in the team. So from my point of view, it's about bringing on people with the right attitude, and we can take the experience from the rest of the team. So if you're learning your way in the industry, or you're learning your way in the workplace, it's a good place to come in at a sort of graduate sales level and progress through the team, or a graduate consultant level and progress through the team. And you can progress through my construction team, or you can look at more opportunities abroad now as well. So following the merger of Excitec and Symetri, some of the Excitec team are now getting opportunities to go and work with the Nordics, the Symetri Nordics team, and it's an exciting place to be. Symetri is also part of the Adnode group, which gives wider opportunities. You know, we've got parts of the organization in Australia and America and across Europe. So there's plenty of opportunity for people who want to sort of get into this space.
Definitely. And so what, I guess the main thing from you having 12 years experience, obviously as a solution seller, what advice would you give to somebody as a graduate who's just come out of university? You know, is there any advice that you'd want to give them if they wanted to go specifically into our industry, specifically into software and construction?
I mean, I always say this, but it's so much about listening and just understanding. The people we speak to have technology challenges. The construction industry isn't digitally advanced across the board. There's companies out there still using pen and paper. If you go and speak to them and understand what their challenges are, why pen and paper isn't working for them, then you can quite easily say, well, we have an electronic solution, so that's a no-brainer for you to take it on. And I think that's all it's really about, is understanding what questions to ask, understanding typical pain points, but not going in with any preconceptions and just speaking to people. And I don't expect our sales team to know all our products and understand what they all do. I expect our sales team to be able to sit in front of a customer and keep capturing information about what their challenges are. And they might sit there and go, okay, I know solution A, B, and C solve those problems, but I've got no idea how to solve problems 5 to 10.
Yeah.
Come back, speak to the consultancy team. The consultancy team go, yeah, we've got this solution that does that, and this solution does that. And as a team, we can build up a proposition to deal with a challenge rather than trying to solve a problem in a meeting, not capturing all 10 issues, capturing one issue, and not really solving and adding value, just solving a quick problem.
Fantastic. So I'm going to go into 60 seconds of questions now. They're like quick fire questions. Your answers can be as weird and wonderful as you want. And I say that because you'll understand why in a second. So what do you believe the best lesson is that you've learned in your 12 years of working?
I'm not answering this very quickly, am I?
No,
I think it's still the listening stuff, but the other stuff is to try things and be prepared to fail. I know it's pretty cliche and it's probably what everyone says, but doing the same old thing over and over again isn't going to give you different results. Try things on LinkedIn. The amount of different platforms you've got now. Go and create a presentation in something other than PowerPoint. See how it goes. Be different and be prepared to fail.
Fantastic. So who inspired you?
Oh, that's a really difficult question. I wasn't really inspired by business leaders and sales folk at the time. I probably got more into that as I've got older. So I'd probably just say something like my dad. My dad was a good businessman, always doing this and that and interesting jobs around the world. And that's probably where I took my inspiration from when I was younger.
You're in that space. So how do you keep mentally focused? Obviously, we're all working from home. We have been for near enough, I think it's just over 2 years now with regards to the pandemic. How are you keeping yourself mentally focused to work from home?
Exercise.
Yeah.
It's the one
Any
thing.
specific time during the day?
I'm not a morning person, so I have to do it after work typically. And I go hard. I brutalize myself till absolutely everything falls out of my brain that was in there throughout the day, and then I'm cleansed, and all I want to do is rest rather than think about work. And then and eat, and then go again the next day. But I think it's massively important. I feel it when I don't exercise. I think I am an endorphin addict these days. If I don't get 3 bits of exercise a week, absolute minimum, then I'm grumpy. I'm not
become like a couch potato.
Exactly.
So these are really random ones. iPhone or Android? It's always one of those questions.
iPhone.
Fantastic. Car or motorbike?
Car.
Fab. And then obviously you just said you're not an early bird, so you're obviously a night owl with regards to that question.
Yeah.
But if you could have breakfast with one person, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
Elon Musk.
And
just
why?
because he set out with a goal to put man on Mars, and he's actually getting quite close to it. And when he first started saying that, he must have been slated from all angles. I've read a couple of books, and some of the work he's done in terms of redeveloping and cost engineering space shuttles, and then the creation of the electric car, the PayPal stuff. Yeah, it's just all fascinating to me, and I just probably like to just get a bit of an insight into him. He's probably an absolute lunatic, to be honest. It'd probably be a horrible breakfast.
So it'd be good to have a good idea just to see how his brain works and how he got to that idea in the first place. Because as you say, trying to put people on Mars, I think we all thought was crazy at the time when he put it out there. But it is what it is. But thank you for your time today, Richard, and thank you for joining us. And hopefully we'll hear more about Symetri in the future. Okay.
No problem at all. Thank you, Laura. Cheers.
Thank you so much for tuning into the Construction Tech Podcast. Don't forget, hit the like and subscribe and add your comments below. This podcast is brought to you by Laura Jane Recruitment. Get in touch with Laura Olsen if you are looking for a new role or to add to your talent team.